Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first LinkedIn Live event for 2025. It's great to be back with you again. I hope everyone's enjoyed a fantastic Christmas and New Year period. Today, we're starting off with a topic that is incredibly timely for 2025 and one that I think is going to be very valuable as you go on with your video marketing and your video campaigns for 2025. So today's topic are the 10 trends that you need to be aware of in 2025 as it relates to video marketing. So that makes the key discussion points for today incredibly simple. It's going to be discussing the 10 trends, surprise, surprise, and then I'm going to go into each of the 10, dissect them a little bit more, and then provide you with some actionable tips that you can implement going forward as to how you may want to integrate that within your own video marketing. So very, very straightforward. 60 minutes going through all the trends. We'll jump straight into it. I'm going to list the 10 trends straight off the bat and then go into each of them individually a little bit deeper as we go on. And to provide a little bit of context around the 10 trends that I've listed here, they aren't in any specific order of importance. So 1 doesn't mean it's more important than 10 and vice versa. It just means that the order that I put them in, I think they kind of link together, they supplement each other, and you'll kind of see how that links in together as we go through our discussion this morning. So let's kick it off then. The 10 trends in summary for 2025 as it relates to video marketing. First and foremost, employee-generated content. We then got short-form video. Number 3 is behind-the-scenes content. Number 4, micro videos. Number 5, brand films. Number 6, the big buzzwords for 2024, and they'll continue to be in 2025, in authenticity and connection. Number 7, personalized video campaigns. Number 8, live streaming. Number 9, shoppable videos. And number 10, one that could be both a positive and a negative, AI-generated video content. So those are the 10 trends. As I mentioned, they're not in any order of importance. They're just in an order that they flow one to the next as we go on our conversation this morning. So let's get straight into the first one then. Employee-generated content. This is a type of content that has been around for some time, and it's only going to increase in importance in 2025 and beyond. And as we know from what we've seen over the past, definitely last 5 years, probably to a lesser degree the past decade, is that the personal brands that your staff hold or the key staff within your business hold is far more important than the brands that your company holds. And the reason for this is very straightforward. People do business with people, whether it be in a B2B environment or a B2C environment. People connect with people as opposed to brands. Now, brands you can definitely connect with, of course you can, but there's going to be more of a dependence on the personal brand side of things and the personal relationships that you have with the company as opposed to the connection you have with the company itself. If we look at employee-generated content that has been produced by brands in both a B2C and a B2B space, one of the greatest examples, from my opinion, is Instagram. And if we look at the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, this is the guy who creates some amazing content on LinkedIn and is building a fantastic personal brand. Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, obviously a very well-known individual. So as a result, he's got a very large following on Instagram. But I can guarantee you that he wouldn't have as large a following on Instagram as he does if he didn't provide genuine value to those that follow him. Now, what is his value that he produces and he provides? He creates content on the latest updates on the platform. What's changed? What's new? How can you adapt to create better content on the platform? He also talks about the best practices on the platform, how you should be writing copy, how you should be creating posts, how you should be hooking people in. And that's why people follow him. He's got this personal brand because he provides that value. As I mentioned, if he didn't create these posts and he wasn't providing value, he'd probably still have a fairly large following on Instagram. And that's purely because of the name of the person that he is and the role that he holds. But because he creates this personal brand and the content supplements that, he's able to grow even bigger and get more followers. So when we look at employee-generated content for your own staff, this is the type of stuff that you should be looking at, providing genuine value and bringing in a greater following in that way. If we look towards more lower level employees, which is probably more relevant to the people listening to this episode this morning, look at someone like a Woolworths. A couple of years ago, they had an employee by the name of Liam Curley. And Liam was just your everyday Woolworths store member. He worked on the floor, he stacked the shelves, he worked at the cashier's register. During his shifts, Liam would create TikTok videos. And it would just be little quirks here and there about working at Woolies and talking about that side of things. And what it did is get people interested in not just him, but Woolworths in general. It was a bit of a look behind the scenes, and we'll talk about behind the scenes content a little bit later on as well. And as a result of this, Liam grew a massive following on TikTok and then later on Instagram and YouTube, etc. So the Woolworths marketing team saw this and they thought, well, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. We're getting eyes on our business, on our company. So they reached out to Liam and they said, hey, Liam, why don't you come and join our content team and let's build this even bigger? And that's exactly what he did. And as a result, the Woolworths brand just grew bigger and bigger. More eyeballs came onto the brand and it ticked off everyone's business objectives. So those two examples there with Adam and Liam are both examples of how a personal brand can supplement the marketing for a company. Employee-generated content, it's going to only get bigger in 2025. And the reason it works is threefold. Firstly, it builds trust and authenticity. Authenticity is the buzzword of 2024 and it still will be in 2025. And there's a reason for it. It's because there is so much AI-generated content out there now, and again, we'll touch on that later on too, that your customers just want to see truth. They want to see the real life, what is happening in your business. And employee-generated content is a perfect way to do that. Secondly, it's cost-effective. If you've ever looked at using a celebrity or using an influencer in a marketing campaign for your business, you'll know that they demand a hell of a lot of money to take part. So a cost-effective way to do that is engage your staff, build a personal brand with them, use them as the influencers, as the celebrities, as the face of your brand. And you'll not only save on coin in having to not hire out celebrities, but you'll also build up a personal brand, and with that, the brand of your business as well. And finally, it's a great recruitment tool because it shows that your company isn't just corporate. It isn't a blank face. It has a pulse. It has a personality. And I think this is a really important way to look at it, especially in the B2B space where a lot of B2B brands, they have this corporate front, which is very, very bland. It's very boring. There's not much life to it. You can bring in a little bit of life. We talk about humanizing your brand. This is exactly that. Bring a little bit of personality, bring a pulse into your brand, and employee-generated content does just that. So how can you get started as a company with employee-generated content? It's all to do with empowering your staff. Give them the benefit of the doubt to create the content that they would like to create. If it's like Liam and he's working on the cashier's register, let him do it. If it doesn't negatively impact the customer experience and it only improves it, then let them do it. If it's someone like an Adam, a high-level executive within your within your company, let them create the content. Let them create that personal brand. Empower them to do that and support them where they need the support. On the flip side of things, if they want to become a bit of a thought leader within your company, a great example would be is if you have an in-house accountant, empower them to be a thought leader. Create content at tax time about how the everyday Australian can get more money back on their tax returns, or the little loopholes within the ATO, different things like that. That'd be incredibly valuable for everyday Australians to listen to. It's going to build their personal brand, and alongside of it, it's going to build up your company brand as well. Now, just finally, finishing off with the employee-generated content side of things, one of the common mistakes that a lot of businesses have around this type of content is that they fear the employee, the individual that is building up a personal brand, will become thought leaders in their field, and as a result, they'll end up going out solo and kind of becoming a competitor to their company. And this is really a wrong way to approach it and the wrong kind of mindset to approach this with. Because I can guarantee you that by building the personal brand of an individual or multiple individuals within your company, they are going to elevate your brand image. It's going to rise the level of expectation. And as a result, not just will they rise up, but you'll rise up, your brand image will rise up, and they'll become your biggest ambassador. And all of these benefits will occur long before there is any potential threat of them going out solo or becoming a potential competitor down the line. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to create employee-generated content in 2025 and beyond. There is probably a threat there, but it is so far down the line that you do not have to worry about it because you'll experience all the benefits that you want to experience long before any potential threat arises. So that's the first trend for 2025, employee-generated content. The second one that we're going to be looking at here, short-form video. And of course, you can kind of see there's a little bit of an overlap here, as it does with most of the content trends that are coming forward this year. Short-form video, it's been around for a number of years now. It is not going to go away anytime soon. And just saw a question coming here from Jared. Jared says, I want to be the person that people think of when they think of the brand I sell. Perfect, Jared. That is spot on. You want to be the face of the brand. When people want to go and purchase, they want to think of you as opposed to the company. The company brand is incredibly important, but people do business with people. So that's a great approach, Jared. Awesome. So yeah, looking at this second trend here, short form video. It's not going away anytime soon. And we could go into super complex talk about short form video. We're kind of going to touch on it throughout the rest of today's events. So I'm just going to give you 3 tips for short form video that you can take on for 2025. First and foremost, learn how to hook people in. That is the key to any successful short form video. Human attention span is now 8 seconds. Only 8 seconds. For context, a goldfish has a memory of 9 seconds. Sorry, an attention span of 9 seconds. So the competition is getting lower and lower every year. And as a result, your customers, when they're looking at short form content, they need to be hooked in right away. So if you can learn to hook people in within the first 3 seconds of any type of video, then you're going to do incredibly well with your short form video. Secondly, you want to learn how to create content that people actually want to watch. And this is key. Actually, you want to watch it, because there's no use producing content that isn't enjoyable to watch, because it's not going to achieve your business objectives. People are not going to watch it. So a tip for that, use the 3 E's: educational, entertainment, and emotional. If you can touch on each of those within different content pillars, you are well on track to doing incredibly well with your short form video. So those are the 3 there. So educational, entertainment, and emotional. And then finally, another key point with short form video is to make sure that you're serving your customers as opposed to serving yourself. So what tends to happen with short form video, and I've definitely hit this point a number of months ago, is that you get 3 months in, 6 months in, 12 months in, whatever the time frame is, and you start to think to yourself, I'm putting the same thing out all the time. And you start to think, oh, maybe I should pivot a little bit. Maybe I should bring in this and bring in that and change this up and change that up. But you have to remember, if you're doing that, you're serving yourself, because you're familiar with the content that you're putting out there. You're familiar with the messages. You're familiar with all the theory behind different things, especially in a B2B space. But your customers, they aren't in this world every day like you are. They're in their own world. And as a result, the content that they consume from you, they don't hear all the time. So you have to remember that the content you're putting out there needs to serve your customers as opposed to yourself. Make sure it's valuable to them. You're going to get sick and tired of hearing the same thing come out of your mouth all the time. And I can guarantee you, I definitely do get tired of it myself, but I have to remember it's for my customers, the value that I'm putting out there. So keep that in mind when you're producing your short form content this year as well. Great question from Jared, just come in here about short form content. More of a production question, but how short or long is a short? So my definition, Jared, for short form content is anything between 0 seconds and 60 seconds. Sometimes you can pull that out to a little bit more towards a 90, but generally between 0 and 60 seconds. And short form content is going to be predominantly created in a vertical format. There are some exceptions, and we'll touch on that with number 4, which is micro videos. But generally speaking, 0 to 60 seconds in the vertical format. And then long form is anywhere between 90 seconds onwards, and that's going to be traditionally created in a horizontal format as well. Great question. Thanks, Jared. So number 3, the third trend for 2025 that we're seeing, behind the scenes video content. And this is an example of short form video content, and it's an example of employee generated content. So they both work hand in hand together. It is also one of the easiest pieces of content to produce. And when it comes to content production, for a lot of businesses, the reason why they don't look to do it, or the reason they stop doing it, is because it's too hard to produce content on an ongoing basis. And if you can make it as easy as possible to do, then by all means do it. And this is one of those ways to do that. It doesn't have to be anything specific like behind the scenes at our staff training day, because quite frankly, I can guarantee you that I wouldn't want to watch that, and nor would your customers. We simply wouldn't care. But it can just be a little bit of a look into your everyday office antics, because there would be stuff that happens in the office every day that people would be entertained with, right? You think about what happens in your own offices day to day. There would be things that are entertaining within the general day. One of the companies that I definitely recommend you looking into, I did a post about them this morning on LinkedIn, is the Hawaiian Host Group. So this is a company from, surprise, surprise, Hawaii, and they're just a holding company for a number of confectionery brands in the US. And last year, they were able to grow 350,000 followers on Instagram, 350,000, 350,000 on Instagram, and it was purely from using this type of content, behind the scenes content, employee generated content. One of the recent videos that they created was training for the annual Office Olympics. So of course it was in line with the Paris Olympics last year, training for the annual Office Olympics. And it was a little mini series. I think there might have been 3 or 4 videos around that topic. And people got a kick out of it. They would watch it, they'd engage, and it got shared around. And what you'll notice when you look through their company page is that everything that they post is not serious. It's not this corporate front, which is bland and boring. They go out there a little bit. Now, they're not being super stupid like some of the things you see on social media, but they're not taking themselves seriously. And I think that's a really key point to understand, is that when you're creating content, it doesn't have to be serious all the time. You can bring a bit of life to personality. It shows off the workplace culture, and that's a really important piece as we go to the authenticity side of things, going behind the scenes and really capturing the personality and the culture of your workplace. It's fantastic. It's a great recruitment tool, as is that employee-generated content we touched on earlier. If you can show off the personality of your workspace, think about how many applications you're going to get for jobs moving forward, because people are going to see that and they're going to say, I want to work there. I can tell you now, by watching their videos, I would 100% would love to work in that place. It seems like an amazing environment. It sounds like the boss is a great guy. All the people within the office are jovial. What a fantastic space to work. And that's what behind the scenes content can do. From more of a business perspective, customer relationship perspective, again, builds trust, builds authenticity. You're not putting on this facade, this fake display. You're showing what is really happening. You're going behind the scenes. We want to see what is happening behind closed doors. So how can you get started with behind the scenes content? As we touched on just before, find the everyday things that are happening in your office space, in your business, that are a little bit quirky. They're a little bit different. That will show off your personality compared to a competitor within your industry. What makes you stand out as a business in your day-to-day lives? Because it's those things that are going to connect potential customers to your business and, of course, potential staff as well. One of the other great examples of behind-the-scenes content is if you're a cricket fan. Of course, we've just had the summer of cricket here in Australia. Fox Sports, every year, they do a fantastic job of taking viewers behind the scenes at a test match. So they'll take people into the broadcast truck. They'll take people into the players' rooms. They'll take them into the decision review truck. Right? All these different spaces that traditionally we don't have access to as individuals, but they take us there through the cameras, through the broadcast that they produce. And we're able to see behind things that we don't normally gain access to. As humans, we're incredibly intrigued with things that we can't gain access to. So if you can find your Fox Sports equivalent of taking people into a DRS truck within your office, how intriguing would that be for your customers? Yeah, Jared, you saw that. It was really good. It was. It's phenomenal, and they do it year after year. I was watching a video the other night from the Sydney Test match in 2019, I think it was, and they had Pat Cummins walking through the dressing room in Sydney. It's fantastic insight, and it's intriguing because we don't normally get to see that. Really, really incredible work from Fox Sports. So I highly recommend you checking out them as well. So that's behind the scenes content, the third trend for 2025. Next up, we've got micro content. And micro content, as with many of the things that we've spoken about so far, it's been around for a long, long time. But its importance is only growing in 2025 and beyond. And this is mostly to do with, of course, that lack of attention that humans have, as I touched on. 8 seconds is the average human attention span these days. So the need for really informative, educational, emotive, entertainment-worthy content in such a short time frame is only growing. So what is a micro video? A micro video, it's a short 15 to 30 second video that details a key benefit of your product or service. Now, one of the examples I would love for you to check out after today's event is by Apple. And it was done around about 6 or 7 months ago, ballpark. And it was a mini series about their new Macs that they put out. 3 episodes. They were called Charged, Found, and Powered. And what they did was that they created a relatable situation within each of those 3 short 30-second videos that appealed to viewers and detailed a key benefit of their product. So, as an example, the Found episode. It was about a girl. She had lost her laptop within the school grounds. Right, she can't find it anywhere. And there's people were telling, "Oh, you'll never find your laptop," and stuff like this. It's too complex, And then she grabs out her phone, iPhone, and she pulls up the Find My app, which is of course on all Apple devices. And she logs in, and she's able to pick up the location of her Mac. And she finds the Mac. Great example. Another one from Charged. A young girl is sitting within a lecture theatre at a university, the first period of the day, and the lecturer comes up to her and says, "Oh, you're playing with fire a little bit there without charging your laptop during the first period. How are you going to make your laptop last the entire day?" And she turns around and she says, "It's a Mac," because the battery life's incredible, right? So it's just little things like that, short, sharp, but it tells you 100% clearly a key benefit of the product. We know that we can find the laptop no matter if we lose it. We know that we're going to have incredible battery life. Things like this, which are traditionally publicized in a commercial-like setting and in your face all the time, those days are gone. The days of the old 30-second commercial are past us. And now we're in this environment where you're creating those relatable situations that are highly emotive, because anything that's relatable carries emotions with it. Creating stories out of that is far more engaging and communicates and connects with your customers far more than what the old style of commercials do. They're also a very shortened version of brand films, and brand films is the next topic that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But it's taking that idea of a longer form brand film, which may be 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes long, condensing that into a very short 15 to 30 second period and telling a story within a story, essentially. So then how can you get started with a micro video? Because this is, again, an area that is quickly gaining traction amongst not just the big businesses that are out there in the world, but also in smaller and medium-sized businesses too. And getting started with these, it's actually pretty straightforward. All you have to do to start is find a key benefit of your product or service. And I'm sure as a business owner, as a marketer, you know the key benefits of your product or service. Then it's about finding a relatable situation that the benefit is applicable to. Okay, so we're Apple. We know that our laptop has incredible battery life. What's a relatable situation to that? You think about all the different situations, and they came up with the one of person at university, they need their laptop to last the entire day. Where in a traditional environment, people are having their laptops charged in from 9 o'clock in the morning onwards. Perfect. Pair that up. Let's create a short 30-second skit out of it and go from there. It's educational, it's entertaining, and promotional as well to a lesser degree. All in one. A perfect example of creating a micro video there. And I think that the key part here that we have to remember is that we're looking at Apple. They've got trillions of dollars. But at your smaller business, in your medium-sized business, whatever size business that you have, you don't have to go and put out hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on creating a little 30-second skit. It can be done on your phone. As long as the meaning is there and the story is there, everything is in place, that is perfect. And if you've got the budget for it, and you could put a couple of thousand, 10,000, whatever the figure is, out on getting a professional to do it, then of course do that. But you don't have to. You can start off on the smaller scale and just do it on your phone. A couple of questions come in from Jared. You've tried these, but can't tell a story in 15 seconds, something to work on. And then you've sent through a link. Perfect. I will just click on that link now. So I've got it for later on, Jared. I will watch that later on, and I'll send you some, I'll have a review of it and send you through some tips about how you can improve it moving forward. Thanks for sending that through. Much appreciated. So that's micro content number 4. Moving on, let's have a look at the larger version of a micro video, the brand film. Now this is an area that I absolutely adore. It's the one that I specialize in the most, and I just love watching these every day from the top brands that put them out there. It is the North Star of modern day video marketing. The brands that have been the most successful over the past 5 years, 10 years, are those that have been using brand films. And the brands that are going to be the most successful over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years are going to be the brands that are using brand films. Why do they work? Why are the big brands and even the smaller brands these days as well? There's many customers that we work with that are a lot smaller that are starting to take on these as well. Why do they work? Why are they so popular? First and foremost, they're relatable. As we touched on with those micro content videos, anything relatable carries emotions with it. And it's those emotions that connect you with your customers on that deeper level that you're needing to build a strong relationship with them. And as a result of that, you're able to communicate a message subtly that resonates with viewers on that deep emotional level. And that is the key. The message comes through subtly. It's not in your face like the old days of a commercial. It is just subtle. It comes through subconsciously, but it comes through as a story. And a story, that's another benefit of them. That's why they work. You're entertaining people through a story. One of the most common feedback from viewers watching a brand film, and you can see it in the comment sections of these films on YouTube when you watch them. People go, this doesn't look anything like a commercial. It just looks like it's a film. And that is spot on. That is the whole idea behind a brand film, is that you're not pitching and being in your face and being aggressive in your marketing towards your customers. You're being subtle. You're telling them a story, getting them hooked in on a relatable plot. That is the idea behind it. So how do you get started with a brand film? To make it really, really simple for you, there's 4 pillars of a brand film that are essential, and they each have one question associated with them each, so 4 questions in total. So by answering these 4 pillar questions, you can get started with creating your own brand film. So first and foremost, what is the key product or service that you sell? What is it really? We're not staying on the surface level. We're diving really, really deep. So what does an airline sell? On surface level, they sell a seat to get you from point A to point B. Very, very simple. That's the surface level. But if we go deeper, their true product or service is that they connect people with each other no matter the distance, no matter the circumstance. That goes a little bit deeper. And you can probably go deeper from there. And you can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper that you go, the better a storyline you're going to be able to develop out of it. And especially for your brand, because it's going to be unique to your brand. The second pillar is, what are the potential impacts of the true product or service? There's going to be more than one impact. The key is to find one impact and focus on each of those, or each individual impact in its own brand film. So this is where you can create a series out of it, and you can create multiple different videos. Just find one impact and hone in on that, and then answer the following questions for each individual impact. The third pillar, what are the associated emotions with the impact of your product or service? So how did your customers feel before and after experiencing your product or service? Typically speaking, beforehand, the emotions that are going to be felt, guilt, anger, overwhelming, sadness, these kind of emotions. And then afterwards, it's going to be along the lines of happiness, joy, and elation, satisfaction. These kind of different emotions, they're kind of the ones that you want to be looking for within the different impacts that you provide. And then finally, to bring it all together and to bring in that connection is your core values and beliefs. And this is where you can really make it applicable to only your business, only your brand, as opposed to being a general video that could be used by any of your competitors, is by bringing in your core values and beliefs. Because your core values and beliefs are going to be unique. And they're going to be unique to your customer demographic, your ideal customer demographic. So if you can bring in your core values and your beliefs within your brand films, what that does is that the viewers that watch it, that really, really resonate with it, they're going to be the ones that hold the similar core values and beliefs that your company holds. And they're the ones that are going to connect more deeply with you. And they're going to be your ideal customers. So that's brand films. I love that area. I could go talking about brand films all day, but we've got 5 more trends to get through. So we'll move on to number 6. Number 6, the buzzwords for 2024 and beyond: authenticity and connection. These were everywhere. Every day on LinkedIn last year. Authenticity, connection, authenticity, connection. It just didn't stop. Everyone was talking about it. And the reason for it is because AI-generated content in both video, photo, text, audio formats, the whole lot, is getting more and more populated as the days go on. That's a good thing. It's also a bad thing. Everything has positives and negatives. But your audiences these days, your customer demographic, they're getting savvier and savvier more than ever before. And you and I, we both know that we can detect authenticity a mile away. It's pretty obvious when you're interacting with someone that's not being truthful, they're not being authentic. They give off signals. So the best performing brands today are those that are going to be able to build genuine connection with their audience. And that is done by building trust, by building authenticity. Why does authenticity matter? Why are people jumping on about authenticity on a daily basis? Builds that trust, and that's essential for long-term customer relationships. It's going to differentiate your brand in a crowded market. Everything that we've spoken about so far, to a degree, talks about differentiating your business within a crowded market space. Too many companies these days rely on overproduced or insufficient, insecure marketing. It's everywhere. Trust me, I see it on a daily basis. I watch a lot of different brand films and campaigns that different companies put out, and there is a lot of this. There is a lot of overproduced, insincere marketing. And finally, as we touched on before, core values and beliefs. Your ideal customer is going to be drawn to your own core values and beliefs as a company. They're going to hold similar core values and beliefs. Being authentic allows you to communicate these to your viewers, to your target audience. It's incredibly important. So how can you showcase authenticity? We've already touched on this a number of times this morning. It's about showing your company's personality through your content, the employee-generated content, the behind-the-scenes content. Let your personality shine. Show a bit of a pulse. Show that you're not a blank face, bland and boring. Bring a bit of life into it. Use real stories and real people. Try to avoid actors where possible. Now, of course, in some circumstances, bringing in an actor or a celebrity or an influencer is an incredibly valuable marketing act. 100% it is, because you can attract people based on the face of the individual. But in most circumstances, try to use your employees, try to use your customers as the faces of your video marketing campaigns, because people are going to connect with them much more deeply than they're going to a random celebrity that they can't relate to with, aside from just knowing their face and knowing their name. And finally, one of the other great ways to build authenticity is share your brand journey. Or if it's in a personal setting, share your personal brand. Share your personal journey, where you've come from, where you've been, what struggles you've faced. Show all of that. List the challenges and the lessons that you've learned along the way. That's a great way to build authenticity. I highly encourage you doing that through your content. If we're looking at LinkedIn, for example, I post on LinkedIn 5 days a week, for 4 or 5 days a week most times. Every Friday, I step away from the business kind of content and I just touch on something personal. That builds that authenticity, it builds that trust, it shares my journey, the challenges, the lessons along the way. Great way to build connection with your customers. So that's number 6, authenticity and connection. And just to summarize what we've spoken about so far, we've gone through 6 of the 10 trends for video marketing in 2025 that you need to be aware of. We've touched on employee-generated content, short-form video, behind-the-scenes content, micro videos, brand films, and now we've just touched on authenticity and connection. So then, number 7, the 7th trend to be looking at for 2025, personalized video campaigns. And this goes hand in hand with connection, building a really deep relationship with your customers. If you can be personalized, you're going to get much better results. So a personalized video campaign, very simply, a video campaign that targets a specific customer demographic. And we've just seen a question come through from Jared here. I'll pop that for you, Jared. How can I encourage others in our team to get their faces on camera? It's a tough one. It is a tough one. And I think it has to come from actions over words, as a lot of things do. If they see that you're comfortable putting yourself out there and you create content yourself, they're going to feel much more relaxed creating their own content than if they were the ones that had to take that initial step straight away. Does that make a little bit of sense? If they were the ones that had to take that initiative straight away, they'd probably be a little bit more reluctant to it, because they would think, this may affect my job. They may not like it. You think about the kid Liam that we spoke about earlier from Woolies. I can guarantee you that he probably would have been very reluctant at the start to start putting content out because he could have lost his job over it. That would have been a thought going through his head, but he decided to take that jump. So if you, as a higher ranking executive, as the owner of the business, if you can showcase that you're the one taking that initial step and be a leader in that sense, I think it makes it a lot more easier for staff below you and part of your team to then take that jump as well. And then once you've taken that action, it's probably easier to have a conversation with them and say, hey, we've got this idea to create a little bit more content with the employees, bring in a bit of personality, show off the amazing work that you guys do. What ideas do you have? And incorporate them within the discussions as well, because then they feel empowered. They feel like they belong within the conversation. And that not only improves the relationship that you have with them, but can also get them on side and creating content themselves as well. Does that make a little bit of sense, Joe? And just while we're waiting on Jared to get back to us here, we'll keep talking about number 7 here, personalized video campaigns. And as I touched on, they're those specific campaigns that target a specific customer demographic within your larger customer base. Personalization, it's no longer a nice to have anymore. It's a must. Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate you sending that through. Thank you. It's a must. It is a must for connecting with modern audiences, and the companies that have a really strong customer base, they're the ones that are really personalized with their customers. And with the amount of data that is out there these days as well, especially with the social media platforms, there is so much data out there that you can use to analyze your customer demographics. There has never been a time in marketing more possible than today to tailor video content to a specific demographic. The reason why, aside from the connection front, the reason why personalization is incredibly important is that 72% of consumers say that they only engage with personalized messaging. Think about that. Think about your own actions within your everyday. We all get tons of emails sent to us every day. What emails do you engage with and ones do you not engage with? I know from my actions, the ones that I engage with are the ones that are personal. They've got my name addressed to it. They go in and they speak directly to me, especially when it talks about promotional emails and what forth like that come through. The ones that are a bit more direct towards me and they understand me, I'm going to open them and read them as opposed to ones that are generic. You'll be surprised. This actually shocked me as well. I hired a new editor about 8 months ago, and I put out different adverts for the application and got 180 different applications, something like that. It was a crazy number. I wasn't expecting it. And it made my life incredibly easy when culling through all the applications, because I reckon 40% of the emails didn't address my name. Even though my name was on all the application adverts, 40% of the applicants didn't address my name. And it was so easy to just say, cross through their name, no, you're not it. Be personal. Connect with people. And that really shocked me that people were not doing that, and they just had a generic dear sir, madam, or whatever it is, or dear owner of the business and stuff like that. It's just like, be personal. And this statistic here from a consumer report, 72% of consumers say they only engage with personalized messaging. It backs it up. It backs it up. People want that personalization. Not only that, it creates a deeper sense of value and relevance for the viewer. As we touched on there, relevance. Make it relevant to your customer. Make them feel like you're talking directly to them. This can be achieved not just in video marketing, but across marketing in general. Incredibly important. And as a result of that increased personal connection, it's going to foster loyalty. It's going to drive higher conversion rates. You'll see the ROI come in from it. It's incredibly lucrative. Now, one of the possible use cases for personalized video campaigns is Meta and YouTube ad campaigns. Now, when we speak about an ad in the context of this discussion today, I'm not talking about the old style commercials, everything in your face all the time. I'm not part of that side of things. I don't promote that side of things either. I promote the connection side of things, the brand film, all that element, bringing the emotions, the relatable storylines together, etc. You can still produce ads out of those and put them on Meta and YouTube using that type of content. So creating a brand film, as an example, or a micro video, and making that relevant to each specific customer demographic that you have in your business is an incredible way to go about your video marketing. And look, it would cost you more money up front in producing it because you're producing different types of campaigns for different customer demographics. There's more than one video, most likely. But the ROI that comes back from it is going to be far higher than a generalized message going out to the masses. So keep that one in mind. Another one of the great types of content that you could use for a personalized video campaign are the best performing content pieces from different social media platforms that you've posted. Now, I don't touch on the strategy side of things or any of that in terms of marketing. My company and myself are just focused on the video production side of things. But I know from the discussions that I've had with our strategic marketing partners that we refer clients onto and different learnings that I've picked up over the years, that the best ads that you can produce on Meta and on YouTube are from the best performing pieces of content, because you already know that they're relevant to people because they're an outlier. They've got 1 million views, or they got whatever the number of views is that you don't normally get. They far exceeded that. So you know that people find relevance in it. So use that as an advertisement. That's a great tip. And then one other one that I thought could be interesting to include in the discussion is for customer onboarding. Now, I haven't done this personally myself in terms of creating a video for a customer when they onboard, but I'm considering doing it for our onboarding processes moving forward, because that would be an incredible way to bring personalized video to your customers. Imagine creating a little short 15, 30-second video for each customer that comes on, just saying, hey, I'm Paul Smith. Welcome to the Cheesecake Shop. Great to have you here. Going on, talking about different things, right? Make it personal to them. We know it's your birthday. We know you love the color yellow. Here's a voucher, 15% off our lemon meringue cake, or something like that. You know what I mean? Just make it personal to them, and it doesn't take you long. 15, 30 seconds. Just use your phone. Just record it on your phone and send it to them over text or whatever it is. Incredibly simple. That's an idea. Definitely something that I'm considering for 2025 as well. Topic of conversation here from Jared. Personalized video I occasionally make for clients when they pick up their car. That is fantastic. Awesome, Jared. I'm going to click on that link as well, and I'm going to have a watch of that video that you've just sent through too later on, because I reckon that would be an absolute banger video. So thank you for sharing that, Jared. Appreciate it. I'm conscious of the time. We've only got 12 minutes left in the hour. We've still got 3 to get through, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Number eight, live streaming. Again, something that has been around for a number of years, and since COVID, it has been incredibly prevalent, of course. Live streaming has become massive since COVID. And I was reading Gary Vee's latest book, Day Trading Attention. And Gary goes incredibly deep about live streaming within the book. And he talks about how he sees there being a lot more investment and reliance on live streaming, not just by major brands, but small and medium-sized businesses in the years that come. And that is a fantastic thing for a lot of businesses. And going back to that personal connection side of things, especially on YouTube Live, or even this type of thing here, we're live on LinkedIn. This is a fantastic way to build that connection. Jared and I are having conversations at the moment in the comments that he's making and the questions he's asking. And there'll be questions that come afterwards through DMs from different listeners and viewers. That builds that connection there. You can do it in real time, and that's one of the biggest benefits of live streaming. It's also a fantastic alternate revenue stream for events. I'll give you an example. We worked with a client back in November of 2023, and they were holding a big masterclass in Melbourne CBD. They had, from memory, I think it was 300 people turn up to that event in person. They then went and got us involved to do a live stream, and they charged entry for the live stream as well. So it was pay to view. You had to pay to gain access to the live stream. And then after the live stream, they then put out a poll to their audience, all the people that attended. So the 450 people, there was around about 150 people on the live stream. So the 450 people plus their thousands of followers online, and they said, hey, would you like to have a recorded copy of the live stream available? And there was overwhelming support for a yes. So they put that out, and they charged people to gain access to the replay as well. So that's a fantastic alternate revenue source. If we run some basic numbers here, let's just say they charged $100 a head to gain access to the in-person masterclass event. So 300 people, $100 a head, $30,000 in revenue. Then they had 150 people sign up for the live stream. And again, let's just use a fake number here. Let's just say they charged $50 a head to gain access to the live stream. $7,500. And then let's just say 500 people signed up for the replay and they charged $10 a head for the live stream replay. That's $5,000 from a live stream replay. And that $5,000 is pure profit. There is no costs associated with that $5,000. It is just sending them a link, and that could all be automated easily from a sign-up link to the replay, a payment gateway. What a fantastic alternate revenue source. So if you're someone that does big masterclass events, if you host webinars really constantly, consider charging for access to it, and consider charging access for an on-demand copy later on as well, because that would be an incredible way to boost your revenue going forward as well. And just finally, touching on what Gary Vee said in his latest book with live streaming, the reason he also sees it become such a big trend coming forward is that it links with shoppable videos. And that's our 9th trend to look at for 2025. And shoppable videos, I'll be honest with you, I had to do a little bit of research on them because this is something I'm not familiar with at all. I'm going to put that forward straight away, but I'm just going to give you some of the key details that I've learnt. It's definitely not up the alley of video production side of things, because it's a lot more based around your phone and different things like that on social media. But what a shoppable video is that it integrates clickable elements within the video itself. So it's like a link or a hotspot kind of, but on the video. So one example is, let's just say it was a beauty brand, right? And they had an influencer creating content, and they've got their lipstick, and they're applying the lipstick to their lips. You, as a viewer of that video, can click on the lipstick, right? You got the lipstick balm here, whatever it is. You can click on that on the phone, and that takes you directly to the link to purchase it. And it's not just for that. It could be whatever the hat the person's wearing, or the clothing that they're wearing. It could be their earrings, whatever it is. You can just click on each individual element of the person in the video, or what's behind them. So you can see my computer screen here. You would be able to click on that video, and you'd be able to buy that. That's crazy. I hadn't heard about this before, and I was shocked when I'm doing the research for this event. I was like, wow. So Gary reckons there's going to be live streams where you're going to be able to do the exact same thing. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I'm not going to go any further into shoppable videos because I don't know what I'm talking about there. But that's an incredible opportunity in 2025. If you're especially in that B2C space and you've got like products and stuff like that they show off on social media, that could be the one. That could be the one. So finally, to finish off, number 10. Wow, right at the end. AI generated video content. Now, this can be both a positive and a negative. And me personally, I'm really interested to see how this evolves, especially over the next 12 months. Because AI generated photos, obviously they're everywhere these days. And it's gotten to the point where AI generated photos are pretty hard to distinguish between a real photo. But AI generated video is a long way off being anywhere near that ballpark. One of the videos I saw recently, it was put out in November of last year. It was a video from the official Germany tourism site on Instagram, and it was a video highlighting key tourist destinations in Germany, all AI generated. So the girl that was on screen was AI generated. Even the destinations they went to, which I can guarantee you they would have tons of images and videos of, they also generated that out of AI. The voiceover was AI, everything was AI. And it faced incredible backlash. People were going in on Germany tourism, saying that they were wasting their time, they wasted their money, saying that why can't they just show off what it looks like in real life, and they had to use all this AI generated stuff. People were not happy. And I was watching it and I was like, this has got to be a joke. But this was like an official campaign for Germany tourism. So, wow. So that's where we're at now with AI generated content. as it relates to video. Is it good? Is it bad? Time will tell. I think there's probably opportunity for it, most definitely. But clearly the public aren't ready for it. And that is seen based off of that campaign by Germany Tourism. People are not ready for AI generated video yet. And that's the key word, yet. So will they be happy in 2025? Who knows? Time will tell. But I think that's one that we should all keep a very close eye on. AI definitely helps with producing video content in terms of the post-production of it, in terms of generating the ideas for it. 100% it's applicable there. Making the video actually out of AI and having AI characters, I don't know. I don't think that's probably the way to go. So that's the 10 trends for 2025 for video marketing that you need to be aware of. Let's go through them just to summarize again the 10 that we talked about this morning. First and foremost, we spoke about employee-generated content, empowering your employees to create content to build their own personal brand, which in turn will elevate your company brand. We then touched on the continuation of short-form video, its dominance in video marketing. It's only going to increase. We looked at behind-the-scenes content. We talked about the Hawaiian host group, which I definitely recommend you checking out. Have a look at their Instagram. 350,000 followers they built last year. It's gone down a little bit now, but it's still going very strong, over 300,000. Check out their content for examples of behind-the-scenes video content. And if you're into your sports, check out Fox Sports and their behind-the-scenes tours that they do during the cricket season. We then looked at number 4, micro videos, which are very closely linked to brand films and produced in a very similar manner. Then we looked at authenticity and connection, the buzzwords for 2025 and beyond. Personalized video campaigns, definitely link in with that. And then live streaming. We touched on Gary Vee's approach to live streaming, where he sees that that's going, and the heavy link of live streaming with shoppable videos, which was something that I do not have any idea about, but I'm intrigued to see where it goes. And then finally, AI generated videos we touched on just at the end there. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? We'll see as time goes on in 2025. So everyone, thank you for your time this morning. It's been a fantastic hour of discussion. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two for what is to lay ahead in 2025. If you do have any questions, please send them through into the chat right now and we'll answer them. Otherwise, do feel free to send me a message through LinkedIn, a DM, or leave a comment on the video afterwards just in the chat and tag me in there. I'll be sure to answer it for you. The next event that is being hosted by myself will be Tuesday, the 28th of January at 10 a.m. It's only going to be 30 minutes as opposed to a 60-minute event like today. And it's a good follow-on topic from what we spoke about this morning, in that the topic will be about short versus long-form content. So we'll be comparing the differences between the two, the production process between the two, and how you can use both of them within your own video marketing in 2025 to get the most out of them. So thank you, Jared. Appreciate your support and your listening this morning. There will be a recording available, published on both YouTube and Spotify later on today. And until Tuesday, the 28th of January, enjoy your time and speak with you very, very soon. Thanks for joining this morning. Cheers.